Okay, let's dive right into this explainer, because if you've ever thought of nirvana as just a vast, empty void or a fading out of existence, you are in for a massive paradigm shift today. We're going to completely shatter everything you thought you knew about ultimate awakening. Specifically, we'll be analyzing exactly how the Mahaparinirvana Sutra interprets its absolute core doctrines: eternity, bliss, self, and purity, and how it radically redefines the very nature of nirvana. To really understand this shift, we have to drop right into the middle of the dramatic action. Picture this: the Buddha is resting between the solitaries. His physical light is fading, and he's preparing for what seems to be his final passing. And the cosmic reaction to this, it is visceral, it's raw. The beings around him cry out, "Alas, the world is empty. We are without a savior, poor and orphaned." The text describes them in absolute despair, weeping tears of pure agony, with blood appearing on their bodies like red flowers as they watch their guide prepare to leave them. And this vividly captures the unfathomable, frankly almost absurd, cosmic scale of the grief. We aren't just talking about a small group of followers here. To put it into perspective, the text specifies 80 billion monks alongside an infinite, endless procession of bodhisattvas, divine kings, dragons, and cosmic beings. Imagine literal mountains of glowing, jeweled offerings, sweet-smelling woods, and vast divine canopies being brought before the Buddha. They are practically begging him to stay. But the Buddha, completely aware of his impending transition, just silently refuses every single offering. Then, we hit the terrifying climax of this cosmic drama. The text describes this truly breathtaking moment, where the brilliant five-colored light that had been radiating from the Buddha suddenly retracts and returns entirely into his mouth. For the trembling crowds watching this, it's the ultimate sign. It signals that the end has truly, definitively arrived. They cry out that the sun of holy wisdom is forever extinguished, and the supreme Dharma ship has sunk. They firmly believe they are witnessing ultimate extinction. But wait a second. This brings us to a really crucial, provocative question. Think about it. If the Buddha is achieving nirvana, which, remember, is supposed to be the ultimate liberation, why is the entire cosmos weeping in absolute agonizing despair? Well, here is the pivot, the massive secret of the Mahaparinirvana Sutra. All of this cinematic, earth-shattering sorrow is actually based on a profound illusion. The beings are weeping because they fundamentally misunderstand what is happening right in front of them. The massive plot twist here, derived directly from the text's introductory preface by Dal Lang, completely flips our understanding upside down. Nirvana is not a void. It isn't extinction, and it is certainly not death. Instead, it is beautifully described as the mysterious sanctuary of the eternal Dharma body. It's the ultimate awakening into an eternal, radiant reality. The Buddha isn't disappearing into nothingness. He is stepping out of the fragile illusion of the physical body and stepping into an absolute, unshakable state of being. So, part 1, breaking the illusion. Let's compare worldly grief against true nirvana and see how this builds a completely new paradigm. On one hand, worldly beings see only the illusion, a physical body failing. To them, that means impermanence, immense suffering, and a terrifying emptiness. But on the other hand, the sutra's truth reveals the exact opposite. True nirvana is defined by 4 breathtaking qualities: eternity, bliss, true self, and purity. Meaning, those crowds are mourning a tragedy that, from the perspective of ultimate truth, simply isn't even happening. Which leads us to part 2, the 4 pillars: eternity, bliss, self, and purity. Let's unpack the absolute core doctrine of this text. When we break down these specific concepts, everything just clicks into place and it completely dismantles that worldly fear we saw earlier at the solitaries. Eternity means the ultimate state is totally unmoved by death. Bliss is an infinite joy. Self refers to a true self, which is fundamentally distinct from our fragile ego. And purity is described as a pristine mirror. Let's actually look at each of these a bit closer. First up, eternity. The text argues that because the Dharma body is the ultimate reality, it absolutely cannot be changed by the temporary illusion of physical passing. Birth and death, they're just localized temporary events. The ultimate nature of the Buddha, and really, by extension, the ultimate nature of reality itself, is unshakable. Its permanence is absolute.
Next, we have bliss, and this is a boundless, profound joy that is completely untouched by worldly sorrow. Think back to those billions of beings weeping tears of blood. The sutra is basically telling us that their agonizing tears are totally unnecessary. They are trapped in their own perception of loss, while the Buddha is actually entering a state of infinite, limitless bliss.
And this brilliantly brings us to the concept of true self. Now, this is a radical departure from the idea of just emptiness. The sutra speaks of a sovereign, authentic self that transcends all fragile, temporary forms. It urges us to look right past our temporary physical bodies, which the text vividly describes as fragile, impermanent, and destined to decay, to discover this eternal true self that resides within.
Finally, purity. The Source beautifully describes this as a pristine water mirror reflecting all dharmas. So it isn't just a state of cleanliness, it is a perfect, undisturbed mind. Imagine a completely still, crystal clear lake. It reflects all of reality, all phenomena, perfectly and without a single ounce of distortion or judgment.
Part 3, Opening the Secret Treasury. What does all of this actually mean for us when these 4 pillars are fully realized? To summarize the epic journey we've just taken, we started with a highly cinematic cosmic scene of weeping deities, terrified of extinction, but through the teachings of the sutra, that sorrow transforms into ultimate joy. We realize that the fragile physical form is merely shed to reveal the eternal Dharma body. And the best part? This secret treasury of eternity, bliss, self, and purity is not just for the Buddha. It is opened up and revealed as something that literally all beings have the potential to attain. And that leads to this majestic climax from the text, one with the Dharma nature boundless as the great void. This is the ultimate realization. It isn't a disappearance into nothingness, it's an expansion. It is becoming boundless, perfectly radiant and perfectly whole, aligning completely with the ultimate nature of reality itself.
So, I want to leave you with this deeply provocative thought. If this text is right, if the ultimate eternity, bliss, self, and purity already reside deep within your own secret treasury, just waiting to be uncovered, then what worldly illusions are you still weeping over? What temporary losses in your own life are you mourning simply because you haven't yet realized the unshakable, radiant permanence that exists right beneath the surface? Take that thought with you and keep exploring.